In a kingdom far, far away, there was a king, a mighty, powerful king, surrounded by the beauty of his realm, a kingdom that reflected the wealth, fame, and 4 beloved wives, a glory he had built over the years. But despite all his riches, he feared one thing: being alone in the afterlife. He ruled a kingdom lavished with jewels and riches, but deep in his heart, the king knew something was missing. The wealth, the glory, none of it could ease his greatest fear. The fear of being alone when the time come to leave this world behind. As the king lay in his final moments, his once unshakable strength had dwindled. He had everything a king could wish for, but in this moment he realized he could not buy the one thing he feared most: not to be alone when his journey ended. He needed someone that could accompany him in his journey to the afterlife, so he called upon his 4th wife. The 4th wife, beautiful, adored, and cherished, was the king's most beloved. He had adorned her with diamonds, gold, and everything his kingdom could offer. But in this moment, when the king asked her, "Will you follow me on my journey to the afterlife?" her response was cold. With a flick of her hand, she turned away, her luxurious gown sweeping the floor as she walked out the door. "I cannot follow you," she said, and with that, she was gone, leaving the king to face his deepest fear alone. In that moment, the king understood. The love he had lavished upon his 4th wife, her body, her beauty, could not follow him to the afterlife. He was left with nothing but his fears and regrets. The 3rd wife was the king's pride, always at his side, always in the spotlight. She was the one he showed off to his neighboring kingdoms, the one who brought him admiration and acclaim. But would she stand by him when the lights dimmed? The king softly asked her, "My beautiful wife, I have always been proud of you. I have shown you off to the world. Surely, you will go with me?" She looked at him with a smile that did not reach her eyes. "I cannot join you in this journey to the afterlife," she said. "I love life too much, and after you are gone, I will find someone new." The king gasped with shock as he could not believe his ears. His eyes filled with deep sorrows and regrets. He beckoned on his servants to call for his 2nd wife. The 2nd wife, always there when the king needed her. Loyal, faithful, and steady. She had been with him through thick and thin. Surely she would not abandon him now. "You have been by my side through everything. Will you follow me to the afterlife?" the king asked, but she whispered softly, "I will be here for your funeral, but beyond that, I cannot follow you." The king's heart sank, for even the one who had always stood by his side could not walk with him into eternity. And then suddenly from the shadows came a voice, a quiet, humble voice. The king looked up in shock. It was his 1st wife, the one he had neglected the most. She was weak, frail, and starved of love. Tears filled his eyes, and with a warmth that seemed to glow from within, she said, "I will go with you, my king, wherever you go." Her hands, worn by years of service, were not adorned with jewels, but her love was pure and eternal. The king looked into her eyes and finally understood. She was the one who had always been there, the one whose love had never wavered. "I should have taken better care of you. I should have loved you more when I had the chance," said the king. In that moment, the king understood. The love of his 1st wife was the most enduring, and he felt the weight of all the time he had wasted. And so, the king took his final breath, and so also his 1st wife. As the king walked beside his 1st wife, they stepped into the light, leaving behind the riches, the possessions, and the sorrows that comes with them, and even the memories of the kingdom. In the end, they were free, and the king knew he would never be alone again. This story was more than just a tale. It's a lesson for us all. The 4th wife represents our body. We decorate it, care for it, but when we die, it cannot follow us. The 3rd wife, they are our possessions. We spend our lives collecting wealth, but in the end, it belongs to someone else. The 2nd wife is our friends and family. They love us, support us, but the farthest they can go is to our funeral. But the 1st wife, that represents our soul, the one we often neglect, the one we forget to nourish. Yet it's the only thing that follows us beyond this life. So take care of your body, enjoy your possessions, cherish your loved ones. But most importantly, don't forget your soul. Pray, meditate, reflect. Because in the end, it's the only thing that truly stays with you. If this story touched you, leave a like, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe for more stories that inspire and transform.